Very good afternoon to all of you. It's been a long day. I'm sure you've been hearing a lot of stuff since morning. So I'll be focusing on Leonardo, which is one of the portfolios I have a chance to lead for India, apart from S4 HANA. As you know, we'll be launching the cloud version of S4 HANA also shortly on 9th of May, as you would have heard in the morning keynote. Maybe just for a quick wake-up call, can we play video 1? So that was just a glimpse of Leonardo for you. Basically, Leonardo is an innovation platform from SAP. And what it essentially does is intelligently connects people, things, and businesses. What we are trying to do with Leonardo is make sure that the digital core, which is currently your ECC and shortly will be your S4 HANA, is surrounded by a lot of innovation. Innovation could be on the people side of life through connected people, could be on the asset side of life through connected assets, could be on your plant and machinery side through connected infrastructure, could be to your vehicles and your movable assets through vehicle insights. So what we've also done in addition to the IoT layer is added obviously the machine learning layer along with our colleagues from Google, and we have a lot of apps that we have developed as a part of this portfolio. So IoT, machine learning, then we added obviously the blockchain portfolio. We'll look at some aspects of that as we go along. We also have added big data and analytics services also. Now the reason why we bundled all these things together was obviously 3-4 years back when we started with the IoT journey, we realized very quickly that an IoT project very smoothly moves into analytics and then big data comes up as a requirement, and anyways artificial intelligence pops up. So we saw that these were disparate services which all became relevant, and all this is on the SAP cloud platform. So building mobile apps, building portals, having user authentication, those services are well provided by the cloud platform. So intelligently connecting people, things, and businesses is essentially what this whole Leonardo is all about. Yeah. We'll be getting into each of the components a little in detail, starting with machine learning. Machine learning, of course, is the first component, and SAP has developed several applications on using machine learning. Some of these applications are add-ons to the core, digital core, that is S4 HANA, and there are certain that are coming up. So just to give you a couple of examples, with machine learning, what you're capable of doing is either automating knowledge work on one side, or do the impossible, as we say. Yeah? And depending on what you're trying to do, there are several apps. Couple of examples here are transformational HR services. So maybe you want to build bots using SAP, lights out finance operations, self-driving customer service. So we've created an app which is able to look at emails coming in from customer, defining the severity, and then routing it to the right team within the organization. So automating the entire customer service to a large extent. Conversational sales bots, conversational customer care bots. So these are things that automate knowledge work essentially. If you look at doing the impossible, Image-based Ariba commerce. So one of the customers came up with the requirement of, can I take a photograph of a spare part and it raises a purchase order for me? Because as a maintenance guy who is in the field, I don't have time to do these 3 steps. So with 2 clicks, can I raise a indent? So what it does is it takes a photograph, goes to AI, identifies which spare part and part number it is, then sends the message to Ariba, which in turn raises a purchase requisition. Or video-aware marketing, and we'll see some examples of that, where I can actually have video analytics at real time, and because it's about marketing, it tries to find out that in a particular cricket match, how many times was the logo of Pepsi or Coke or whatever you're trying to track, how many times was that seen? So that's about video-aware marketing. Visual store execution, we'll see some of that as we go along. Vision-enabled manufacturing, contextual logistics. So there are a lot of applications in the do the impossible side which have also come up. Many of these have been co-innovations. So as you come up with new ideas, as my earlier speaker spoke, we can do design thinking with you and come up with specific use cases and solutions for you. One of the interesting applications is cash management. So what it essentially does is matching of payments, is something that it does really well. Today, you would have probably deployed on the accounts receivable side, maybe an open text or things like that, or maybe account payables or vendor side, you would have deployed open text. On the customer side, however, we have this application coming in for collections. So matching a bank statement with a customer collections, that matching is done by this solution. And it takes some time for improving the accuracy. So it will start with probably 30–40% and go as you go along, and it starts learning how you are clearing things, how customer mapping is done. It starts improving the whole cash management process. The whole matching of bank statement versus customer collection starts getting matched automatically. This is an example of Swarovski where video analytics was used. Essentially what they had was, they make a lot of jewelry, as you all know, and when they had a customer walk into a store with a broken piece of a product, it was very difficult for them through thousands and thousands of products to find out, which exactly part this is, and where do they have that in inventory, and if yes, then can they get that and place that. So can you play video 2 just to give you an example of how this works? Sorry, video 3, I'm very sorry, video 3. Yes. So what we are doing here is uploading a photograph of the component that the customer has come, and it says, okay, so this is particular product number 47, and I can place an order specifically on that. What you see here is the whole matching exercise. So when I upload a photograph, it's capable of taking a look at thousands of products, pick the right component, and exactly detect which SKU this is all about. So based on the pendant, it is saying that the 4th pendant, now it said 93% accuracy, but the next time it comes up with the same photograph, it will obviously increase the accuracy and take you straight to 100%. There are, by the way, as customers, you have access to some of these tools from SAP to do a 30-day trial, and you can play around with some of these solutions to look at, build your own applications also. Yeah, so Swarovski is one example. There are other examples also. For example, in Copilot. Copilot is SAP's chatbot building application. You are now able to obviously chat with SAP. Many of you would have deployed chatbots for HR. Yesterday we had a panel of CHROs, about 6 or 7 of them, and almost everybody had deployed an HR policy bot. So with chatbots, what you can do is create bots for, could be sales, could be service, could be HR, finance, depending on where you want to take it. Yeah. Nowadays, the whole analytics journey is broken into bots which are answering certain questions, analytics is answering certain, and alerts are answering the third level of questions. We are also seeing a lot of analytics consumption in the process itself. So while I'm undertaking a particular process in an SAP application. Could be a supply chain process, could be a procurement process. Analytics is embedded in that business process itself. Yeah, it just helps the whole the user take a better decision. So as Deep said yesterday, if you were there, the whole intelligent enterprise has now 3 parts. For the last 30 years, we've been doing automation. That's the first A. Now we are coming to assist with things like Copilot. That is the second A. And once you reach the assist stage, you move to the third stage, which is act. Or as an organization, you improve productivity through automation, you improve performance through assist, and you improve agility through act. So these are the 3 pieces. So Copilot plays a critical role in that. Service ticket intelligence, that's the second application we have. Image similarity, as you saw in machine learning, that's the third one. Let's look at a particular video analytics for marketing, as I said, where how can I look at video of a particular match and identify how many times the logo has come. So can you play the next video? Yes.
SAP Brand Impact is a fully scalable video analytics service for brands, media agencies, and media production companies. Detected brand assets are framed in the video and correspond to the lines in the panel below. It allows interactive review of original video footage overlaid with detections. In the summary view, you get reports on brand exposure duration and size on the screen. In the detailed view, you get indication of each brand's screen coverage and frequency of exposure graph. There is also a possibility to download aggregated data in CSV and PDF formats. SAP Brand Impact Solution, accelerated by NVIDIA, enables customers to measure the impact of brand exposure on their business performance. It offers near real-time processing speeds, high accuracy, and unlimited scalability, full transparency, and easy integration with BI analytical tools.
Now, what we've also seen as we get into Industry 4.0 projects with a lot of customers is video sensing and taking actions from real-time data is increasing. A lot of the places where we are engaging at a shop floor level, we see this coming up as a requirement. So whether it is quality-related defects identified or it is production-specific counting that it has to do. We recently came across an engineering and construction company which wants to update percentage completion of a project based on the video update that comes from the project site. Maybe some of you would be interested in a solution like that. So a lot of such requirements are coming up. Now, do we have all these solutions available out of the box? No. Do all the out-of-the-box solutions meet your requirements 100%? Maybe some, to some extent. But that's where the process of innovation, the process of identifying the right accelerator, we call these accelerators, taking an accelerator and then customizing it to your requirement becomes an interesting task. Yeah? That's where design thinking and some of the processes around innovation services come in very handy, and you'll probably hear a few more aspects about that after me. In the retail space, again, several examples that we have seen, not so much in India right now, but changing the consumer's experience at a retail outlet, depending on the age, depending on the sex of the individual, being able to change what is seen by the retailer at the retail outlet, being able to change, in some cases, even the mannequin's clothing, depending on the facial expressions of the retail customer. So a lot of innovation that's happening in this space, and retail is playing a very big role. Both digital as well as physical retail is seeing a sea change using some of these technologies. So there are ready-to-use solutions like the cash application or the service ticket intelligence or brand impact, as I showed you. There are ready to co-innovate. So this is the second thing that we see. Many of you who are interested in doing innovation with us can join us for an innovation day at the Leonardo Innovation Center in Bangalore, and that place is running like an Inox theater, almost all 3 shows full. Pretty much every week we've got at least 4 to 5 customers coming in every day for a 9 to 5 p.m. show. And typically in that innovation day, what we do at 9 o'clock in the morning is we start with a sensor manufacturer, could be an Intel, could be a Huawei, could be some of the other partners who we have, depending on the customer's preference. So 9 o'clock in the morning, we start with sensors. What are the kinds of sensors? How do you select a sensor? How does the partner help you choose the right sensor or build the right sensor in some of the cases? 10 o'clock, we have somebody like a Vodafone or a Tata Communications who talks about a LoRa network or a communication network and how sensors across the country that you would have in your assets, how can we connect and bring that data back home? 11 o'clock we start with Leonardo. So we have experts who will talk about all these machine learning, artificial intelligence, and all of these solutions. Then we have a partner, like could be a Bosch, could be an Accenture, could be an iTelligence, could be many of the partners who are medallion partners of SAP. Medallion partner is a partner who's fully trained and capable of deploying Leonardo in your environment. So a medallion partner talks about how he's taken these technologies and build customers' experiences. Then we do a tour of the Leonardo Innovation Center for you. So where we show real projects, real-time solutions in a pretty large arena where we have 100+ demos which are live. We pick out of those 100, about 25 to 30 of them, depending on the industry that you belong to. So it's not just you as an individual feeling innovative. You need to make your CEO and CFO and a few others also feel innovative. And that's when they shell out money from the pocket to help you do the projects. So to make everybody understand what innovation is, to make everybody understand what is SAP doing, we do these innovation days, and I strongly recommend that you raise your hand and let us know, drop us a mail saying that you want to do an innovation day with your organizational colleagues, and we'll be happy to do. Now when we do this innovation day, there are 3 things that come out. First, I love the solution, can you do a POC for me? That's the first one. Second, I know how to make faucets, you know how to make software, let's come together and design a connected faucet. That is co-innovation. So that's where we provide the technology platform, but our innovation services team works with you to come up with a co-innovation project. And in this co-innovation, this newly created project or product can then be taken to the market. So SAP will do co-innovation if it's something we can take to the market on your behalf or along with you. Yeah? And the third one is ready to ideate. So that's a very, very specific requirement for you, an innovation which is meant to create a differentiator in your organization. That's where we will ideate with you and then create a proof of concept. Surprisingly, and the next speaker will talk a little bit, we have productized or templatized some of these journeys. And that's what makes it easy for us to come up with solutions which are very, very unique for your requirement. Coming to blockchain, which is the next piece of technology that we offer. From an SAP perspective, as you all know, people buy from people. Now people are buying from machines. Slowly, probably machines will start buying from machines. So the whole idea of obviously blockchain and the ledgers is, distributed ledgers, is to make sure that we build trust in the absence of 2 humans facing each other. So in this journey of trust, there are several examples or several expectations that customers have. How do you guarantee trust in a P2P transaction? Can you overall simplify this? And we are seeing a lot of this requirement coming from various government organizations. I'm sure some of you in this room would have blockchain as a requirement either in the real estate business or in the supply chain area or in some of the other digital contracts area. So we are seeing these 3 coming up in a very big way in India. A lot of transparency and auditability that the whole process brings to the table. And most importantly, significant risk reduction. One example, or we see deployment of blockchain in 3 areas. One is public, second is consortium, and third is private. SAP generally engages in a private approach. Of course, there are others available depending on whether it's you and a couple of your ecosystem partners or you and the rest of the ecosystem. So depending on that, we pick the right approach for deployment. But here is an example of how we have used blockchain. This is a very simple example, but it will just give you an idea of the kind of solutions that we develop. Can I have the next video? This is a real estate project.
Technology can be used in the field of real estate management. The demo setup consists of a web application and a tangible model. The web application allows to transfer access rights to the houses from the landlord to tenants, as well as between individuals. The model features 5 houses, a central card reader, and a representation of the blockchain. Now, we transfer the access right for house number 3 from Lisa landlord to Sam lodger. The house is immediately aware of the transaction, which is shown by the blinking. Also, a new block is added. By scanning Lisa's ID card, we can ask the houses whether they grant her access. This decision is based on data from the blockchain. When doing the same for Sam, we can see that he has been granted access to house number 3. Also, the second block in the blockchain lights up differently to highlight it as the information source. Smart contracts regulate whether a transaction might be added to the blockchain or not, as the blockchain serves as a single source of truth. This allows to effectively ensure that only transactions adhering to the contract become part of the truth. The smart contract implemented in the chain code of this demo allows to transfer assets between individuals, as long as only a single person has access. If we check again for Sam's access rights, we can see that he no longer has access to house number 3. Still, the highlighted block in the blockchain shows us that he was once granted access. This is because the full, immutable history is conserved in the blockchain. Bill, on the other hand, now has access to this specific house, again represented in a block. The web application allows us to get an in-depth view of the individual transactions. The demo uses a real blockchain cluster based on Hyperledger, which means that all transactions and queries are executed on a real blockchain.
Yeah. In India, we are seeing, we also have another solution around supply chain that we have come up with. So as you know, goods which move from a factory to a logistics company, from a logistics company to a port, from a port to a shipping liner, from a shipping liner to the new port, and the process continues. So the custody of the goods handshakes at various points in time, and the customs department requires complete transparency, and the dispatcher as well as the receiver want to know where it is. So this whole process has been converted into a blockchain solution. It's available, and as I said, it's showcased in our innovation center for those who want to take a look. We've got a couple of customers who are actively doing a POC in India for that. So several use cases that we are seeing in blockchain across banking, finance, logistics, social, and a few other sectors. So whether it is in the area of syndicated loans, or it's in finance related to dunning process. In logistics, as I said, traceability, track and trace, we are seeing a lot around, even in agriculture. I didn't mention the AI in agriculture that we are working on. SAP launched recently a farm management solution. Again, it's at a beta stage, but one of the customers who's working with us on the farm management solution. In India, of course, the requirement is slightly different. We are trying to localize that solution with a group of people across different industries who've come together, yeah, because agro is a pretty important aspect for India. So blockchain playing a critical role in many such solutions. The next one is IoT. IoT has, of course, a slightly larger framework to it. What you see at the top is what we call the Leonardo bridge. That is sort of the application enablement layer, or that's probably the orchestration layer. That is a layer that I use for dragging and dropping and creating my own IoT applications which have an HTML5 front end. What you see below are the various applications, or essentially the pillars under which we have applications available. Connected products. So we have, as I said, we have customers who've put sensors in the product, whether it's a tire, whether it's a battery, whether it's a tractor. So connected products is an example. All the data from the sensors coming back. And some cases, we've got customers who've converted from a CapEx selling method to an OpEx method, and you'll see one of those examples today with a compressor manufacturer. Connected assets. So what we've done is created a Facebook of machines. So what we are seeing as a trend is some of the large companies are taking their entire asset base across a couple of companies or even a single company and hiving that off into a second company. So a new company that is owning assets of 5 or 6 different group companies, and their only job is to ensure a 24/7 operation. If any of your organizations is getting into that direction, then the Facebook of machines or the asset intelligence network is ideal for you. Because what it does is it synchronizes with the maintenance module in the ERP, takes the entire asset master, then creates a digital twin and hooks up with the sensors that you have put into those assets. The whole process, of course, is done by the IoT team and some of our operations partners. Once the digital twin is created, you can then give access of this data to the maintenance team. You can give access to the OEM of the device manufacturer, that is, or the asset manufacturer, and you can also give access to a third-party agency who's doing the maintenance. Yeah? So connected assets is a big requirement. We are seeing that coming up in a very big way. Again, a slightly complex, slightly longish project, always starts as a POC, but we have started seeing it pick up quite well. Connected fleet, connected infra, connected people. We are working with one of our large customers in India who's developed a wearable, and we are coming up with a real-time safety platform for oil and gas companies. Yeah. So that's an example of connected people. So connected smart cards, and there are a whole host of solutions that are available. What you see down below is what is called the Leonardo Foundation. Now, Leonardo Foundation is where you have the IoT services, the queuing services, and that whole thing is available on SAP's cloud platform. What you see at the extreme right is the edge. That is where we have a solution. Sometimes, most of the times, in a manufacturing plant, we typically install an edge solution because all data need not go to the cloud. Yeah? So you have local decisions taken locally at the edge device itself, and the edge has device management, has artificial intelligence and machine learning services. All of those are prepackaged and bundled onto the edge itself. It's only the exceptions which go to the cloud. Yeah? Can I have the next video just to showcase one of the solutions in IoT?
Digital transformation has triggered a new era for industrial assets. By providing end-to-end data consistency, SAP not only helps you develop and produce industrial machines better, it also empowers you to efficiently run them. Here's a compressor on the manufacturer's web shop. An interested customer is configuring the compressor for operation in the United States. U.S. road regulations require different components for the mechanics, electronics, and software for the rear lights. When this individualized order is placed, the compressor and all relevant components receive serial numbers so they can be tracked easily. The order triggers a production order for lot size 1 in the manufacturing system. During final assembly, the worker in charge scans the compressor's RFID, which immediately brings up the right order. Visual work instructions tell him which light kit is needed, where to find it, and how to assemble it. RFID technology ensures the serial number is automatically transferred to the as-built documentation. He confirms the completion of the assembly and proceeds to install the software according to detailed instructions. All as-built information specific to this compressor is safely stored and published to the equipment portal, which ensures that it's quickly available for any future service requirement. A digital network of asset-related information now improves the maintenance and operation lifetime of an asset. The customer has put the compressor into service. Based on a service agreement, the manufacturer remotely monitors the real-time performance of the compressor using sensor technology. For any threshold violation, the sensors trigger a predictive alert. A red alert has occurred. Looks like the operating temperature is too high. The service engineer is analyzing why and which components are affected. Predictive alerts allow you to quickly take action to prevent serious errors before they occur and to maximize the operation lifetime. The manufacturer, the customer, and other parties all share essential asset-related data via the SAP Asset Intelligence Network. The customer and service engineers thus have easy access to all information on this specific compressor, including always up-to-date technical details, installation information for components and software, as well as 3D visualization of all main components. Detailed installation information is invaluable for service engineers and even includes 3D visual instructions for mechanical assembly and documentation for software updates. Digitize your business, open new business opportunities, and take asset management to a new dimension with SAP.
So this was just a an example of multiple components. Again, the predictive maintenance and services solution helps obviously take real-time data from an asset, help predict the right maintenance requirements and the service requirements. So that PDMS is a solution dedicated for that. A lot of the customers in India currently are piloting it. We've done it for whether it's a transformer, whether it's a, some of the larger assets that require this particular solution. We are piloting that in oil and gas companies also. So a lot of places where we are seeing this coming up as a pretty large requirement. Let's take a look at the next video.
Your company makes things and makes them well, but you want to add more value by selling performance and outcome-related services. Soon, 50% of new business processes will incorporate the Internet of Things. More than 50 billion things will be connected to the global value chain. How do you transform live data into new value? Enter SAP IoT Application Services. Picture an iceberg. The tip, a glimpse of all the new processes and business models. Below, a mass of data waiting to come to light. SAP IoT Application Services dives deep and brings to the surface new business solutions, drawing on this reservoir of new data. With a platform robust enough to crunch petabytes of any data, whether sensor or commercial or environmental data, no matter where the data silo or what the data world. You unleash that power via the digital twin for real world and digital world side by side. A virtual representation of each connected thing, creating a business model as it emerges. Securing your connectivity and making visible what you need to see. You turn your data into insight, so you can evolve business processes by building individual differentiating IoT applications with plug-and-play simplicity, templates and wizards, reusable components and extensions, predictive analytics. Insight leads to action, and with smart data storage, hot, warm, and cold, action leads to a concrete outcome. An outcome that grows into new value for your products and services. Merging real-world operations with commercial business process software can drive scale, consistency, and efficiencies in real time. With the platform-based business strategies, you will transform new service models and business value, and create live business, changing the nature of how you work, the nature of the game, even of your company. Now you're digital too. Based simply on knowledge that was just below the surface. We make the Internet of Things run simple.
So this is the top part of the framework that you saw, the Leonardo bridge. Now this piece, whatever demo you saw, that whole coffee machine and the analytics and the predictive and the Google Maps that came into it, this whole application is built 100% drag and drop. We can come to your organization, build an IoT application in less than 3 hours, connect it to a sensor and walk out. Do call us if you want to test any of these solutions. Luckily, all of them are in the cloud, so there's no question of installation and taking time for some hardware to arrive and all of that. If you have a sensor which has, and again, it can be a BLE, it can be a ZigBee, it can be talking in any language that it wants to, we can hook it up and show you the whole thing working at real time with a drag and drop architecture that the Leonardo bridge allows you to build on. So IoT applications, IoT foundation and platform, and the edge. These are the components that essentially constitute the overall IoT portfolio. Last piece, which probably my colleague covered in a lot of detail and will continue to share some more insights on, is the innovation services. So as he explained, you have step 1, which is design thinking, step 2, which is discovery and design, and step 3 is delivery. These are the 3 steps that we essentially follow, and some details he's already covered. In the second part, he will get deeper into design thinking. I sincerely urge you to try that design thinking approach for one of your innovative requirements for which there is a business case. You will see that a design-led project methodology is completely different, and the whole empathy-driven approach of solving problems is very different from what we've been doing in the last 10, 15, 20 years. It completely changes the game. It gives you a much better outcome. And most importantly, it allows you to come up with a solution much faster and in a much agile way than what you've been used to seeing. So those 9 months of SAP implementations and all those are gone. Huh? So if you're trying Leonardo, it's a couple of weeks, couple of months sort of a thing. And you'll start seeing much more action as you go along. Yeah. So I'll take a stop at that. I hope you got a feel of the technologies that we have to offer. Do visit the Leonardo Innovation Center in Bangalore. Raise your hand. We'll be happy to organize an innovation day for you and some of your executives. It is ideal to come there, map your requirements, build something new, and more importantly, inspire the rest of your organization. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate your time.